Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Beyond the Sewing Room. I'm Diane. So I thought I'd have a little catch up today and share with you the sewing that I did for my son's wedding. So I did share a little while ago that my son was getting married this year. He is now married. The wedding went really well. Thank you for all your well wishes for people who commented on this. And it was a lovely day and they had a really nice time. So I did mention a few months ago that this year I've been making the wedding dress and 2 bridesmaid dresses. I also made my own dress that I wore on the day. So I'm going to be sharing a couple of images of them on the mannequin. I'll also share a couple of the photos that I took, not the official ones, and I'm going to be sort of sharing them from here because obviously it's not fair to be sharing other people's photos on my YouTube channel. So I will be sharing the dress from here and only also with the bridesmaid dress of the older one from here and not the younger one because she is child age, so that wouldn't be fair also. So I hope this gives you a good idea of what I've made, and I'll also share the patterns that I used, how we changed them, and a few tips in case you've got something like this coming up yourself. So I hope you enjoy this and we'll get straight on with it now. So first of all, this is the pattern that I used for the bride's dress. So it's this one, it's a Leanne Marshall, it's Simplicity 8289, and this was the closest thing that we found to the idea that my daughter-in-law had in mind for what she wanted for her dress. So this particular gown doesn't have sleeves, so we created our own, and you do have the option of making it with this overlay which is graded, different lengths, or you can make it just plain, or you can make it knee length. Now what we did 3 layers, so lining, a satin, and then a chiffon, but the chiffon all one length, not in sort of different layers like this. We did a full chiffon overlay over the top of the satin, and it's not boned or anything like that because that was a real sort of main feature that she wanted, was for the dress to be comfortable. She wanted a comfortable dress she could be happy in all day. She could have a meal and she could be dancing through the night and not want to just get out of it. I know a lot of brides have these gorgeous dresses that are really beautiful. They are boned and structured and they are heavy, and quite often by the end of the day they just can't wait to get these things off because they end up feeling a bit miserable in them. So that's something she definitely didn't want. She wanted it to be a comfortable dress with no boning and also not itchy. So she did try a couple on before we made this, and she just wanted to get out of them. They were uncomfortable and they were also itchy on the inside. So that was another thing we thought about when going for the fabrics as well. We didn't want a tulle because that can be quite itchy. So we went for a nice soft chiffon, satin, and a nice smooth lining underneath. And then we also added in, so I'll be showing images throughout while I'm talking, the sleeve that we created. First of all, we thought perhaps a sleeve going into a cuff with pearl buttons, and then she decided she didn't want that. She thought about it, she thought she might like that, and they didn't want that. So then we were having a border of thin lace on a full flowing sleeve, sort of a bell sleeve. We tried that, but the lace looked a little small and narrow. So then we went for a deeper lace border. So I've used the edging of the lace, but I've cut it at the top and I've cut it wider the second time and then hand stitched it on. So that's what we've done on the cuff. I did just a few gathers into this part, so it does have the edging of the lace onto the shoulder and round the front. I've kept that feature, but then added some gathers underneath, so it had a few gathers just here at the shoulder and then went out to a full sort of bell shaped sleeve. And then also I ordered additional lace trim, which went really nice with the main lace that we chose for the body, and I ordered that online, Etsy. I ordered it from Etsy, and you've got 2 pieces, so 2 pieces which I've hand stitched down the sleeve. So on the chiffon down the sleeve, as you can see in the images, I've hand stitched those on, so that just brings out some of the lace that's in the body and also what is at the cuff part of the sleeve. So that's what I've done there. So I just made that up, the sleeve, just took some measurements and made my own sleeve piece to fit the dress. There is also on the back of the dress, I'm going to hold it but I don't know if you can see clearly, we've got this shape just here. It is quite deep on the pattern, so I did change this twice. We wanted it to come up above the bra strap so that you could wear a full bra with this and not have to either not have a bra on or have bra cups in the dress or have one that wasn't very supportive. So she wanted to wear the bra that she wanted to wear. So what we did, I did it once and then you could still see a little bit of where the bra curves up at the side. So I took that off and did it again and made it deeper. So in the end, we did have the opening at the back, but it was much higher at the top, more of sort of a triangle rather than the diamond, because we wanted to fully cover the bra strap. So again, that's something that made it more personal. So in all, we did do it down to the floor. At first, it was trailing onto the floor, but the wedding was outside, the ceremony, so it was a woodland wedding. Lots of it was inside, sort of the meal and everything, and dancing in the evening. But there were elements of it that were outside. And we knew this all along because this is what she'd booked, this is what she'd planned for. So the dress was never going to be to the floor and trailing on the floor because we weren't sure what the weather was going to be like. As it happened, they had a really mild day. It was spitting a little bit when we got there, but then that stopped. But it could have been completely different in November. It could have been throwing it down with rain. It could have been sludgy underfoot and everything as they went into the woodland. So we did need the bridesmaid dresses and the wedding dress to be up off the floor. So we did them down to the ankle. And also this was great because she didn't want any trip hazards and she wanted to be able to dance in it all night without having to hold it up. And she did. So we did it down to the floor when I made it, and then we measured it and we did it so it was up on the top of her shoe, so above her shoe, and wasn't going to get sludgy or dusty or anything throughout the day. So that was what we did. So a few modifications, but this pattern for the bones of it and you know, the structure, and then just changing a few things like adding sleeves, changing the back. Oh, I also brought the front up a little. It was still quite a deep V, but I brought it up from this one because if you make it to this one, it doesn't look it so much on the model, but it is very low if you cut it out just as it is. But all in all, I think that is a lovely pattern for a wedding dress. So that's what I used for that one. And then onto the bridesmaid dresses. So the bridesmaid dresses, they had, again, an idea of what they wanted in mind. They wanted a wrap over style dress and potentially one that they could wear again in the future if they'd like. So as it's autumn wedding, November wedding, going for autumnal colours, and they went for a lovely bronze. So I ordered some samples of fabric, one in sort of a champagne colour, a dusky rose gold and the bronze, and they went for the bronze colour. So they chose between them which one they'd like. And then this, you wouldn't think bridesmaid dress to look at it. This is the one, looking at the line drawings, which was closest to the idea that they had in mind. So I had been shown a picture on Instagram of one that she liked, the oldest bridesmaid, and the younger one agreed. And this line drawing was the closest thing I got to one that was the wrap style with the kind of sleeve that they wanted, but still had some structure and some detailing. So I don't know if you can see, you've still got the lovely pleats into a shoulder panel. You've still got a set-in sleeve, so not just a grown-on sleeve, because I think they can look a little bit like a dressing gown if it's just a grown-on sleeve, especially in a satin. So we wanted a set-in sleeve, some details, there's darts to the back and more shape to it, and the skirt actually goes into a proper waist point and it's not just all one piece. So we wanted some structure so they would look like proper fitted dresses. So that's what we've gone for, but again, down to the ankle. So I've just extended all the pattern pieces with tracing paper and a ruler and just extended them out and brought the rounded part round. I just did that freehand, but you could use special tools, curved tools for this, or you could use plate. But I did it freehand and it worked really well. So we've still got that rounded part at the bottom, but it came down to here, as you can see. And then it fastens with a clasp at one side and then ribbons at the other on the inside. And then they both had the sash belt to go with it for that one. And then finally there was my dress. Oh, I also made one of the groomsmen a matching tie because he's friends with both the bride and groom, and he had a tie that matched the bridesmaids, so I made the tie as well. And for the tie, I just took apart one of my husband's old ones and made myself a pattern that way. And he wore that and he matched the bridesmaids. So for my dress, I used some fabric that I got from my brand ambassador choice a couple of months ago from Minerva, which is this lovely black with all the bold flowers in it. And then I chose this pattern, so this Newlook 6447. And again, I designed my own sleeve and added a sleeve to it. So this one you can do a small cap sleeve, but I did a 3/4 length sleeve that I just made myself. And it has a zip up the back. And then I was going to make a Chanel style pink wool jacket, which I mentioned a number of months ago. I bought the fabric for that. I have used that and I'll share that in an upcoming video. I have actually made myself a winter coat with it. And I decided it didn't really look very much like wedding fabric, I thought. I knew everybody wanted to wear something warm. I mean, the suits and everything, 3-piece suits, and the girls who got, or lady and girl who were bridesmaids had got cardigans and shawls and everything for if they got cool. So everybody was advised that, you know, a lot of it would be outside. But I actually thought the fabric didn't really go with the dress fabric. So I ordered a jacket from eBay in velvet. So I used jacket, but I found it the perfect match for my dress. So it's a marigold velvet. Bought it off eBay, £13. I'm thrilled to bits with it. And you'll see it in the photos, and I wore that. And I'm really glad I went for that and not for the other fabric. So the other fabric is lovely and it's made up, but it just wasn't for that occasion. So that's what I did and that's what I wore. You'll see that in the images. And I made the dicky bow tie for my dog. He didn't need to wear the coat because it was actually quite mild, but he has wore the coat since. So he wore his new collar and his new dicky bow. So yeah, that's all of it really. I also altered the suits, my son's suits and shirts, and that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I've shared the bits I can. Please bear in mind I can't be sharing lots of photos from the event or from the day because it's not mine to share really, is it? So I've just tried to pick out the bits relevant to sewing and relevant to this channel. So I hope that's helpful and it's given you some ideas if you've got something like this coming up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with more sewing ideas. Bye for now.